Okay, back on the selection screen here, and for anybody that's followed me, for anybody that that knows me, you know that this is not normal for me to be on a Wednesday early. But as I'm waiting for my truck to be repaired, I didn't have a way to work today, so fucking here I am. All honesty, after looking at that tire, I'm gonna tell you right now, I shouldn't even fucking be here. I shouldn't. Man, yesterday was crazy. What's going on? Yeah, so here's what's going on. Here's the reason I'm on. Last night, I'm driving home. No, sorry, not driving home. I was driving out to Menards so that I could pick up some materials to start working on the office. As I've been saying, if you guys have been following me on the Facebook, or even I think I even mentioned it on Twitter and whatnot, I plan to do a lot of work, especially on this back wall, that'll start setting some things in motion. And
switch in 3, 2.
Looked like I lost the stream here for a minute. I don't know. I'm checking on it. Looks like it might be fine. So anyways, yeah, I
switch in 3.
What the
2,
fuck?
1.
Okay. So anyways, here's what's going on. Yesterday, I get in my truck and I decide that I'm going down to Menards to pick some stuff up after work. So I get going to where I'm going, and my truck gives me a warning saying that my I should have checked the deconstruction list. Nope. So anyways, my truck tells me that one of my tires is going flat. So I'm like, okay, well, shit, I guess I better take care of that. So I stop off to take care of my tire. And when I do this, I start the process of getting out the hose thing and everything like that to put the air in the tire. And I go over and I put my hand on the tire, and I cut my hand on the tire. So immediately I'm like, what the shit just happened? Because I got myself pretty good at cross my finger. So I pull my hand back, and I'm like, well, that fucking hurt. And so now I reach back there again, and I keep feeling all these spikes. And I'm like, what the fuck did I run over? Now it's on the inside of the tire. So what I did was I got back in the truck, and I turned the tire so that I could see what the hell was going on. Well, here is what was going on. The tire had frayed so bad that all the metal wires were skewing out the side of the tire. And there were massive bald spots all around the inside of the tire. Like massive bald spots. So I'm like, what the fuck happened, you know? Well, I took it in to get it looked at, and this is what has happened to the truck. It's the reason I'm here right now. Both control rods on the left and right tire, front tires, are bad. And it caused my tires to go out like this. So I'm driving on the tires basically like this, and I hadn't realized that there was literally no indication. Like, I even took pictures of the tires of like what they look like, and they looked like there was more than enough tread. Everything was fine. I didn't even bother with the idea of rotating the tires this winter, because the tires were basically new. They're only like maybe, I don't know, they're really not that old. I just fucking paid them off. Well, it turns out that I guess I should have been paying a lot more attention, because both those tires, both the front tires, I don't understand how they didn't explode. I really don't. I don't know how I didn't blow them out because I've been driving my daughter back and forth, back and forth to home, and I've been driving to work every single day, and work is not close to me. Like, I can't just get there walking, and paying a cab would be outrageous. So I have to take a bit of a commute. It's about relatively 20 minutes for me to get to work. Sometimes 10 or 15, but depending on my situation, like especially if I got to drop Gwen off or something like that, that's my situation. So I come across this problem where, since I'm always driving, that's where I am anyway. So anyways, I get to I look at the tires, they're all screwed up. I drive it over to the only place that I'm close to, because I was looking at the tires and I can't believe they didn't blow out days ago. So I drive over to Midas and I'm like, okay, well, this is where I am. It's where I have to stop. I don't see myself making it anywhere else. So I drop the truck off and I'm like, okay, good luck to me. And I take it in, and sure enough, it was exactly what I thought it was. It turned out being the both control rods. Yeah, so both the front left and right control rods completely fucked. Tires are completely frayed down to nothing. And that is why I am here now. Instead of at work. I'm waiting for a call right now, because as soon as they call me, Midas is going to call me. He said that, because last night I got there and it was like 4:10 or whatever, and they said they close at 6. They said there's no way they're getting it done. And I knew that, so I miss work today. And the truck is supposed to be done by around 12:30, so I'm going to play some game and hang out and just kind of pass some time. Hopefully I get a call and I already know what it's going to cost me. It's going to screw me. It's going to screw me pretty heftily, actually, so I'm not exactly looking forward to that, but, I mean, there's not much I can do. I'm going to join a queue. Let's go back to Skyrim. Let's plant ourselves here just in case this is what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I had zero indication as to the tires. Like, I look at them when I walk by them and shit like that. I'm not that fucking oblivious, but I guess they were tilted just enough to fuck me. Let me see if I can even... I took pictures of the tires. There's no way you would know. That's all I saw. And then the other tire. That's all I saw. It was just... To me, they looked just fine. It was the insides of the tires that were completely fucked. And they were fucked to the point where I cannot believe that I was able to drive on them at all. Oh, what is this over here? Money lender.
I haven't seen you before. Are you new to Solitude? Better yet, are you looking for work? If so, you've come to the right person. Let's talk.
No, it is what it is. I'm not hung up on it or anything like that. It's just kind of crazy that it happened at all. I was quoted last night that this is probably going to run me a good $1,200, so I'm waiting to hear that one.
I provide funds to the coterie of organized scholars and the Swords of Solitude militia. Both are short-handed and in arrears, so I took it upon myself to correct their courses before they leave me destitute. You'll work for them. Tenzin represents the coterie. Odd work, but it pays well. Hidaver handles the militia's assignments. Dangerous work. Don't do it alone. Here's an advance. Make sure you're prepared for the job they offer you. You're no good to anyone dead.
Okay. Well, that opened up a whole new thing of stuff that I can do, but I'm not concernicus about any of that stuff. I'm not doing these type of daily things yet. Maybe it would do me some good to do those daily things, but I don't have a group or anything like that, so it's a good way for me to die more than it is to do anything else. I thought that we had a couple of those music instrument things. I thought for sure that was a thing. I thought it was here. Maybe it's not here. I can't remember where I was when I discovered that music house thing. Well, I guess this is what we're going to go do. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is where we're going to go, I guess. Oh, what are you?
The guild requests your help.
Does it now? Where are you going? I'm here. Like, here, not over there. Damn. I like the idea that they're trying to flesh out characters that have never exactly got a real chance in terms of public perception, but, like, I find it crazy that we still haven't seen a proper Batman series on television since 1966. Like, and it's not just Batman. Like, we've never reattempted Wonder Woman, but Superman gets a chance over and over and over and over and over and over. Like, it seems like the Trinity is very unbalanced in terms of DC. No, I don't necessarily think Gotham... Here's the thing. I think Gotham is a cool what-if departure from the norm. And I did enjoy what I saw of it. And I saw all of it, so I can't phrase it that way. I saw all of it. And I did like what I saw. But, like, in terms of all these series that are coming out, like, we have Arrow. Okay, that's fine. But then they did Arrow basically like they were doing a Batman series. Why not just fucking do the Batman series? And they have The Flash, which is well done and feels like a Flash series. But, like, Arrow is dealing with Ra's al Ghul and all these other things. It just bothered me. Like, if they were going to do a Batman series, they should have done one. And if they were going to do a Batman and Flash, they should have then done a Wonder Woman and then brought Superman in. This was their chance to do a Justice League. Like, all this stuff that we have running right now that's all, like, second-tier and third-tier characters that come together to be a crossover group could have been the Justice League had they just run it right. And we could have had the big guns, and there could have been a Green Lantern series a long time ago, because, quite frankly, they needed a Green Lantern series to save that character after what they did to it.
Sees All Colors requests you make your way to her as soon as possible. She said she hopes to make use of your prize. She said you'd understand what that meant. She and Aelif await you at the hall in Stormhold. Go well on your path. Not much you don't already know. Every blade's been turned toward the Daedra. Heard a big crew took down an anchor somewhere in Cyrodiil last week. Messy business. Landed right on top of a skirmish between the Pact and the Dominion.
Oh shit, yeah. Come on, Tank, join us. Well, but that's just it. I think that I like comic book movies. Do not get me wrong. But the CW is where comic books belong. And the reason I say that is because think about all the stuff. Comic books is vast. It's so fucking vast. There's so much going on in comic books. It's so huge. The stories are so interconnected, so extreme run-on. There's massive continuity. You're talking about a Batman where they could have started with him coming back to Gotham. They could have ran a Batman Begins type scenario. Then they could have went from him coming back to Gotham. You could have done an entire 2 seasons before you even introduced Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson runs his course for like a season or 2. And then go from there to the, Holy shit! I stood right in the middle of that like a fucking idiot. That's my fault. I wasn't thinking, I was talking. Damn it.
Thank the Earth. And you?
Yes.
Well, this group is gonna be fun. I mean, I guess it's nice that they don't really need me. Wow, I could literally just stand here. Oh, what the fuck? Can't see! Damn it! Back this camera. Be dead, fuck. I haven't even seen what this sneaky dude is causing problems. Holy shit. It's a good thing I don't know this dungeon, like, at all. These guys are just... They're guys that have run the dungeon many times. They're experts. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it does me no fucking favors at all. I'm useless here. I mean, I guess it's fucking free experience, I guess. Oh, that fucking sucked. Okay, what the fuck? What is going on? Come back to life.
Where?
Okay, I guess I'm going this way. If I could turn around for a second, I don't know where I am in this place. That's the only... That's one of those things I talked about it a while back. I did that. What drives me out of MMOs? This is a lot of it. I don't even have a chance to know what's going on because everybody here's done this like 20 times. And I know that's the nature of things. I'll be where they are at some point, but right now I'm not where they are. So it's super fucking irritating to not know what the shit is going on. Or how to comprehend, like, how to help. Well, I'm gonna do this. Fuck it. Jeez. There is literally no point to me being here. I mean, it's a daily. It'll get me experience for whatever the fuck that's worth. Oh! There. I did that. Kicking this dungeon's ass. I died once from falling, died once from fighting a guy alone.
Your reign is over. Be gone.
Nope, not gonna stand in that like an asshole. Well. I'll talk to her. I'm the best, I guess. Son of a bitch. I fell. That guy says, can the two idiots come here? Chest. They don't care about that chest, dude. They are run and gun hardcores with way more power than we have. I missed. Okay, we're just gonna wait for this to, like, boot my ass from this dungeon. That's what we're gonna do. Because I'm lost. I don't know where the fuck I am. I wasn't given a chance to know where I was. We're just gonna deal with the fact that that happened with a smile. Yeah, we're gonna continue on to what we're doing. Because that is the nature of doing these MMOs. You gotta start somewhere. You gotta start at the bottom, and then climbing your way up can be hard. Because, like I said, I got in here, and they all knew where they were going. They knew how they were going, how they were getting there, what they needed to do, at exactly the time they needed to do it. And I was just kind of dragging ass back here. But that's the nature of things when you play these games at the start. Oh, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, that's nice. In fact, I think I've got that, actually. Let's go in and look at that stuff. 1, 2, Yeah, 5. Sweet. So I get that damage increase off that. Okay, well first off, let's get rid of this. It's fucking pointless. Let's get rid of this. It's fucking pointless. Now, let's check this shit, shall we? What did we get out of this since... Heavy, we're not messing with that. Okay, now what's going on over here? There's a lot of talking. I'll catch up to you guys here in a second. I will. Let me sort all this shit out. Medium pants is a no. I don't use shields. Copper ring, just break it down. Oh, that's actually one I can make use of. Ooh, and it's good. Yeah. Undaunted. No, we're not going to switch that. Heavy, no, not right now. Heavy, no. Oh, it's healing staff. Okay. That's what I got out of this. That's fine. The countdown for this place still has not started. Usually there's a... I think that guy is still roaming around in here. So since he didn't leave, I haven't left. Well, then let's actually find our way out then. Oh, that is a window bill. Ah, oh, son of a bitch. Oh, shit. Yeah. Now, originally, before I fell through the fucking floor, fucking beginner's trap, no? I am completely fucking lost in here. I'm about to teleport out. Yeah. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, we're not doing this. Let's go in here first off. This group, we're going to... Come on, how do I fucking leave the group? Goodbye. Yes, that's right. There. Now I'm... Yeah, you know what? Just go. Okay, now, what were people talking about over here? Because I was fucking... Yeah, stuck there for a good while. Oh, there's some talk here. I can't argue with that. I do tend to enjoy single RPGs more. I played DC Universe Online for a while. It was pretty fun. For anyone here who doesn't get my... I actually don't know if there's any such thing. I imagine there's no such thing as a final boss in this because of the kind of game it is.
what?
Pleased to see you in solitude, stranger.
That's good news then. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Cool. Well, let's go. If I could think of a single-player RPG that I had, I would play that while I just hung out and talked to people, in all honesty. In fact, I wonder if I should do that. What the shit? Because, look, Gundam is not above playing the G Gundam card and shit like that, but like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Kamen Rider and Power Rangers and whatnot, they lend themselves to the fantastical, where Gundam, its original conception, its original idea is to be a war drama that tells stories that deal with the human aspect. And it's easy to delude that in the gimmicks today, which they're doing. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I have always... I'm not exactly the hugest fan of the idea of giving Gundams special powers, or one thing that really I'm not a fan of it at all. I'm not a fan of when the Gundams are like sentient or alive and they have like feelings, and because they're weapons. That's what they are. That's what they were meant to be. They're weapons of a war drama in the future. And I've always felt like it demeans the concept a little bit to add gimmicks. Like, if there was a transforming super card weird Gundam thing that just became other Gundams, it would then become a focus to, which they do this now, they do this a lot, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. They would focus on the Gundam, and the Gundam would become the series at hand. And I actually don't think that's where Gundam should be making its home, is telling stories about the Gundam. Because even the original Gundam is not about the Gundam, it's about the people that happen to be using those machines. And I know I might be a little slightly unwieldy here, because
Working with wood isn't quite the same as working.
I mean, G Gundam worked, but even G Gundam was still, at its core, a story about people. Even if it was masked very well in a big, giant, ridiculous, weird Gundam fighters dog shit.
You look a bit lost.
I don't know, like I said, a lot of it is just me. It's just I'm slightly unwieldy because I like Gundam to be a war drama. I've read Gundam Origins like 6 times. And I've watched the original series 4 or 5 times, and I've seen Zeta twice. I've watched the MS-8 team like probably 9 different times, and the things that always keep me coming back are not the machines, it's the people, because they're war dramas. And they're told very well, where the thing that keeps people coming back to things like Power Rangers, and don't misunderstand, this is not a bad thing, but it's a real thing. The thing that keeps people coming back to shows like Power Rangers and Kamen Riders are the writers. It's not the stories, it's not the villains, it's not the drama, it's not the heartfelt lessons, it's the cool fucking character guy that turns into cool stuff, that gets cool forms, that has cool weapons, that does extraordinary kung fu flight fighting. Like, it's a very different aspect from what Gundam is at its core. It's kind of like Star Trek has nothing to actually do with that ship. The ship is cool and it's a good design and it works well, but they've proven time and time again that you don't need the ship to tell stories in the Star Trek universe. You need the characters, because Star Trek at its core is about the human element. It's about people. It's about the drama that takes place in the human situation. And that's what it should be. So whether you tell it on a spaceship, and whether you tell it in a space station, a spacecraft, a planet, there are episodes that stand alone that never even mention the fact that they're on a ship, because they don't need the ship. They need the future, the setting, the philosophy, the idea, and the people that live in that world. And that's the things that make sense and work the most.
You would have me spread my forces across the realm to search for nightmares you dredged up from a bottle?
It's not.
Or should I say, the whispers of Eastern vipers tickling your ears?
But Mother!
Enough! Then next you come before me to vomit up your counsel. Make sure it doesn't stink of treason.
Did you just push me to the side, dickhead? Fucking Jarl fuck. So, that worked for us, huh?
Damn the man. He wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise. Mother always knew how to talk to him. Me, not so much.
Mother had a way with Father, but she could be just as stubborn. If she wanted something done and he wouldn't oblige, she'd do it herself. Time to take her lessons to heart, I guess. If my father won't take a stand, then I suppose it's up to me. Our kingdom consists of 3 holds. Halfingar, Hjalmarch, and Karthalt. I need to warn them. The Jarls might listen, even if my father won't. I'm the daughter of the High King, after all. Time to start acting like one. Will you come with me? We should visit Jarl Redharn of Hjalmarch first. If we can convince him of the threat, at least his hold can take steps to protect itself. We'll find him in his hall in Morthal. I'll leave word for Lyris with Mog, so she'll know where to find us. Honestly, I don't know. But Jarl Redharn tempers his warrior nature with a kindness not often seen in people of his stature. Besides, he's always had a soft spot for me ever since his daughter and I played together at moots and other gatherings. I remember a time when we were all happy together. Him and Mother and I. Seems like a long time ago. At some point, he became more and more involved with the trappings of power. He was more interested in being the High King than my father. I tried, but interaction with my father made it difficult. She wanted us to be a family. But the High King wanted a queen and a princess. Eventually, he stopped ordering me to attend royal functions. It was my one victory in our relationship.
Okay, so he won't listen. Off to tell the others. Fudge him. I don't see any changes coming from DC. Look, we've done this a million times with the whole... Even in my short fucking life, because I'm only fucking 36, and at 36 years old, I've already lived through like 5 small retcons, reboots, resets. Like, it's always doing this. It'll just... They'll reset the characters... They'll find some sort of formulaic event, and then they'll just keep telling the same fucking stories over and over and over. And anytime they want to evolve a character, or they do evolve a character, it'll be short-lived. I have a problem with comic books and the way they're told. I think the comic book industry could learn a lot from manga. From solid stories that tell a story and then fucking end and move on. Because comic books have this problem of wanting to never lose their narrative. But in so, they also never want to evolve their narrative because they'll lose the fan base. Like, I liked the fact that recently, not recently anymore, like 5 fucking years ago, they tried to make Luther a real fucking character. That makes sense to me. It's about time to take him out of this twiddling thumbs, evil scientist, businessman shit. That's stupid. It was stupid because it's a trope that was created back in like the fucking 1940s and they never did anything with it. They're still telling the same old bullshit. And while you can do that with certain characters that are meant to remain stagnant, superheroes are mythologies that tell our modern day situation in a modern day mythology. Heroes that we need at the time because of our modern situations. The very idea that Captain America punched Hitler in the face speaks to that aspect. That's what they're meant to be. But they're held behind because their villains are not allowed to adapt because people get married to this idea that Luther is this evil scientist business twiddly thumbs guy. And that's fucking that's ridiculous. Luther was on the right path in the New 52. He wasn't necessarily a good person. He was doing good things for selfish reasons. And as long as those reasons benefit mankind, they still played into his moral obligation. He believes that Superman, as a force here in our world, stagnates the human race. And in a way, it does. We've talked about it in the Sentai review. We've talked about how having the Power Rangers around seems to have made an entire fucking world of incompetent morons that will just deal with the fact that 15-year-olds carry nuclear armament. And it's okay. We've got a big robot that shows up randomly to fight monsters. There's no reason to need a military or any kind of police functions or even so much as watch our children competently because the Rangers will save us. And this is ridiculous, but it's a real thing that happens in real life even. We get comfortable and adapt to the situations that are given to us, and if we had a giant godlike overseeing force that just came in and saved us whenever we needed it, why the fuck would we worry about anything? If you knew that you could drive your car off a bridge today and Superman would save you, shit, I've talked to people that have told me word for word they just jump off a building just to meet Superman. He'll catch you. He's always fucking there somehow. Well, in a world that has those kinds of aspects, it is easy to see how Lex Luthor could be right in the New 52, and there is something good to his person, even if he is a shitty person, and all of the things he does is for his own personal gain. But they gave up on that because people didn't want a questionable Luthor. They wanted an evil Luthor. So then, like, right after they finished the New 52, they jump into this DC Rebirth, and he just, like, opens the door to evil, and he's just a fucking straight-up bad guy again. Just a twiddly-thumbs, evil scientist, businessman bad guy. Fuck that guy. I hate that guy. He's boring and stupid and left over from the 1940s, and we should have moved past that concept by now. But we won't, and we can't. Comic books are stuck in this perpetual loop that never allows them to change. And while you can get away with that with a character like, say, Red Sonja or Conan the Barbarian, who exist in the Hyborian Age, who are supposed to be these gritty, fucking chop your head off and throw it at the other guy kind of characters, well, that's what they are and that's where they exist. And if this was a timepiece that we were telling, that Batman always existed in the 40s as a noir type guy, then we could get over this. But if we're not going to tell that story, if Batman is constantly moving into the modern age, then his villains and his stories should move with him, not the other way around. It shouldn't stick to the tropes as it does. And comic books does that because when they change, the common fan gets pissed that the tropes have changed and then rage about it until the tropes go back to being what the people want them to be. And that's because of that they never tell full stories. They tell half stories, take half chances, and even if they kill a character tomorrow, he's just coming back. Who gives a fuck? That's the biggest problem with Marvel and DC and most of the giant comic book organizations, is they won't take chances because they've gotten themselves to a point now where they can't take chances. And if they do take a chance, it's either in some what-if story or it's in they take a chance at something. And, like, when was the last time we got new characters that fucking mattered? Why is Lex Luthor still the main villain of Superman? And why is the Joker still the main villain of, say, of Batman? Well, it's because we won't allow them to evolve. Now, here's the thing. Other mythologies, like Greek mythology, takes place in that era and then is sealed to that era, and we don't retell Hercules or whatever in the modern day because every fucking thing about it would be different. So they're allowed to stay where they are and they don't have to evolve. But if you're going to constantly evolve your stories forward, then by now those same villains that made sense in the 40s no longer make sense and we should be moving on. And that's what drives me crazy about comic books in general, is they refuse to finish their stories and move on to the next story. Everything is just drug up and regurgitated over and over and over again. And while I buy comics and I love comic books because of their ridiculousness, I really wish they would take some chances and grow the fuck up.
You're the one my wife spoke of, the one who returned our daughter to us. I owe you my deepest gratitude. For that, you have my ear. So, tell me of this danger that threatens our realm. We're not Daedra worshippers. Our blood's hot enough to boil a blizzard. We've got more pressing concerns than some northern squall. We received Svargrim's orders, promptly ignored them, and immediately ran afoul of a gaggle of Reachmen. The High King sent a royal decree, said to leave any strange objects or fetishes we spotted around the hold alone. They were dangerous, he said. Just so happens we found a few. I had my soldiers destroy them. That's when we encountered the Reachmen. The barbarians reacted poorly when we destroyed the strange witch sticks. We beat them back and chased them into the nearby barrow. But that was the last I heard from my soldiers. Since you dealt with this before, would you investigate the barrow? If I were a few years younger and had more soldiers to spare, I'd march east to the Morthal Barrow and deal with the sorceress nonsense myself. But I'm not, I don't, and I have other responsibilities. Take this key. It will get you into the barrow. They were tall, ugly things, covered in strange runes, fetishes, and a poultice that smelled like rotting fungus. They had been set up around the town. My soldiers assumed they'd find one at the barrow, but instead they sent word of the Reachmen. Really? Last I heard, the princess was more interested in... No, I won't indulge in idle gossip. Svanna carries herself well. Not with the grace of her mother, but she has the swagger of a warrior. I wish I could say the same about my daughter. She's as well as can be expected. With that damned curse broken, her health has recovered, but the gloom it left behind still hangs over her. But enough of the past. We have troubles enough in the present to deal with.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. I'd say that Miles has been allowed to grow. But see, that's just it. Is that Marvel took a chance, the first that I've seen in a very long time, and brought in a whole bunch of new heroes. But then they're not willing to lay to rest the old heroes or make them legendary characters or anything like that because people don't want that. People get pissed off about that. So you can never get, like, the full Captain America story, like where he came from, what he did, and then have, like, nice crossover stories or stories that tell in his time and lock him to an era and make him history. People don't want that. They want it to be accessible, like, forever and to always have new stories, and I get that in a way, but I also think it's part of what's hurting the comic books in general, is that by now, if the X-Men concept was what it was supposed to be, shouldn't we have moved on and gotten new X-Men?
See that mound? That's the barrow. The entrance will be down below.
Keep back! The barrow is unsafe.
Jarl Redharn sent us. What happened here?
Reachman, let's talk if you want details.
Yeah, let's.
You, sir, the barrow is off limits. We are here to make sure nothing gets in or out, and will do so by any means necessary. I did not want to spare the soldiers I had left to send a message. We destroyed a number of strange sticks set up on the outskirts of town. Then we reached the barrow. We spotted a few Reach barbarians. I sent word and we charged after them. A storm appeared in the barrow, if you could believe such a thing. It was foul magic, almost certainly. Soldiers began changing around me, dying or falling into a stupor. Some turned into monsters, and then the Draugr clawed out of their graves. We never made it that far inside, and when the storm hit, it was all I could do to get out and seal the door behind us. If the Jarl sent you, and you're intent on entering the barrow, I won't stop you. But if you emerge as a monster...
Which I could understand. And that's exactly what I'm getting at. People, the fan base of comic books will not allow comic books to move forward. They're stuck in this perpetual 1940s and 60s that they were created in, and they're not allowed to evolve or press forward because people won't allow it. And even what's crazy about it is it gets newer, younger readers that are looking for change, but then when they get in, they start reading older material, and then they get addicted to that older material, and then they become the same people that came in because things were different, because things were younger and things were interesting, only to cry that things are no longer right, that they're now not what they're not, you know, it's not my Superman. Oh shit. Yes, the X-Men should have been a generational type thing. Yeah, but you can't allow Peter Parker to grow up. He has to be a perpetual fucking ignorant loser that can't figure out how to utilize his intelligence or get anything out of his life other than drama. And I get that we want him to be the normal guy, and if that was the idea, he should have at least grown up and got a normal fucking I have to live and make money job. But he won't. Ever. He'll never do that. He'll never be any kind of a fucking adult. I think when they brought him into the MCU, they would have done themselves a favor if they would have went with the actual Parker that belonged in that era. But they decided to go against that. It would have been tremendous to walk that scene where instead of him going to pick up a kid, if he'd have went to a science lecture at a university, and while he was there, that's who the professor was Parker. And then Tony could have sat through the entire thing, and then he could have said something to the effect of, interesting, but wrong. And he'd been like, what part of it do you think is wrong? Mr. Stark. And then they could have had a little bit of a conversation and a drudge of that idea. And then towards the end of it, maybe Parker would have come up with something that would have made him sound intelligent. And maybe at that point, the thing that got noticed was he could have said something to the effect of, what are you doing as a, what are you doing as a college professor or a high school teacher? And then Parker could have been like, well, this was my school. He's like, I feel like it gave me so much that I just decided it was right that I give back to it. And then they could have played the ideas of little things like that. Why Parker doesn't choose to be rich when he has the opportunities. But instead they went with, he's a fucking teenager, he's a little child. And then this time they, as far as I'm concerned, I think Parker is a waste in the MCU. Because he hasn't done a damn thing for himself. Every costume that he wears is created by Uncle Tony Stark. All the responsibility that he learns is bestowed by Uncle Tony Stark. Like, let the fucking kid do something for himself. That was the whole point of the character, was that he was the common everyday man trying to live this crazy life that was thrust upon him that he was never ready for. Captain America has been trained by the government, by official people that have the ability to train him to lead groups of people into battle, to deal with these kinds of situations. Parker isn't. Parker's just a guy, and sometimes Parker makes decisions that are passion-driven decisions that he thinks are responsibilities that bite him in the ass later, because there's a difference between responsibility that you know is responsibility and responsibility that you create because you feel a certain way. But they don't want to play that aspect. They don't want him to grow up. They just want him to be a child all the time. Every time they tell a series, he's some kid. Every time they do a game, he's some kid. I was surprised that in the Spider-Man video game recent, they allowed him to be an adult. He doesn't have his life put together, and that's fine. He doesn't have to have his life put together. But he shouldn't be a perpetual child. Damn it, don't heal the weird fucking tree thing. I'm trying to kill it. Oh. No? There.
That's done. Let's tell the Jarl what happened here.
Yeah, let's do that. Since I barely know what happened here because I was like talking to them.
If I never have to enter another barrow, it will be too soon.
Oh yeah, no, I still have a massive pull list. I still love comics. It's just that I'm not oblivious to the problems that they present themselves.
To the reliquary she ran off with. We should get back to the Jarl's Hall.
And I still read new comics. I don't just buy old shit and complain about the new shit. I have problems with some of the new shit. That's true, but it is what it is, and I still read a lot of the new stories, and I tend to find that a lot of the new stories are still good stories.
The witch pike in the
Damn,
barrow was the only one that wasn't destroyed before they performed the ritual.
Cut is right on the tip of my
Soldiers were
finger.
caught in the Harrow storm, but the town was spared.
Okay.
That's what happened in Kilcreath after the storm hit. I'm more curious about the witch, though. Why was that gray reliquary important enough for her to grab it and run off as soon as she spotted us?
I don't know.
Come on, let's go talk to Jarl Redharn.
That was almost perfect. The trash is too full. It bounced off the top of the full trash. Okay, well, you're going that way. I'm going this way. Oh!
I can't believe
No.
Jarl's daughter is back. She's grown so much, hasn't she?
She appears in good health and unharmed. I wonder where she was.
Was that your voice? Because that did not sound like it would come out of you.
And then Mog threw up all over the Sword Thane's boots.
Ha! This orc friend of yours sounds... Ah, your companion's return.
Yeah, and they do. They do jerk off to old comics, and that's exactly where the fan base has its problem, and it's exactly what kills comic books. That's why comics can't evolve. It's not even so much that they refuse to. They get new blood. They get new people in there that would like to do something new, but they can't do anything new. Because every writer that tries something new, every writer that pushes the envelope, that takes us a little bit forward, gets shit on for doing so, because it's not what the common comic book reader wants. The comic reader wants these things to never evolve. They want them to just sit around in the forever where they are.
Well, friend of Svanna, are you as good as your word? Tell me what you discovered at the Portal Barrow. A harrow storm, like the thing the princess was telling me about? The thing that destroyed Kilcreath?
Yeah.
A pox on the Reach and its barbarian horde. What else? What about the Reachmen in the Barrow? Disappointing, but not unexpected.
Yeah.
Reach witches are a tricky lot. Still, you have my thanks. In the meantime, Hjalmar shall prepare for war. We may not have a defense against the harrow storms, but we can be ready to attack once we have a target.
Okay. So, let's... Where to now? We're gonna need to get more Jarls on our side.
Lyris' help. We've gained the trust of Jarl Redharn. My father respects the Jarl. That will go a long way in convincing the High King to take the Coven's threat seriously. Now we need to do the same thing at Carthald.
Yep.
Jarl Ulfwen rules the Hold, which was established to provide a defensible border against the Reach. If any of the Western Holds can deal with this threat, it's Carthald. But first, I have one more thing to discuss with Jarl Redharn.
Okay.
Jarl Redharn, prepare your forces as you say, but we need you in Solitude.
Solitude? I have troubles here in Hjalmarch. Why should I leave when my hold needs me?
High King Svargrim won't listen to us, but he might listen to you.
Get up, princess. If you think it will help, I'll talk to your father.
Lyris, please escort the Jarl to Solitude.
Of course. What about you?
We need to warn Jarl Ulfwen, so we're going to Carthald.
Okay, so we're splitting up. Okay. Without the High King, they don't have the forces to deal with the situation, so they have to get him on their side. And the only way to do that is to convince him through other people that aren't his daughter, I guess. Even though the facts are right in front of his fucking stupid-ass blind eyeballs. Oh yeah, but see, that's just it. Like, I hate to say this, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to learn good job, guy. I wouldn't be surprised at all to learn that 80% of them... Because, look, when you get paid to read comics, that's probably another thing that burns you out on that material, is it's no longer like something that you do, it's a job. And I will say this, it's easy to fall into a negativity storm when you're surrounded by people that are consciously negative, even if they're negative on purpose. Because look, one of the reasons I was thinking about like broadcasting all the old podcasts on here and allowing people to, you know, come over and do some live chat and whatnot with the group while we listen to some of the old podcasts. One of the reasons I want to do that is because some of the old podcasts, you could tell that we were buzzed by the internet of the age. Like, it was all, oh, that movie's fucking stupid, and these Final Fantasy games are dumb as shit, and I wish they'd wake up and realize that their franchise isn't perfect, and blah, blah, blah. And then 5 years ago, I did a social experiment with the group. And the only way I could really get them to do said social experiment was almost to lie to them, to tell them we were going to do the Final Fantasy Legacy again because we never finished it. Now, it was true that we never finished it, and that bothered me, but I could have just picked up where we left off. I chose to go back and do one game at a time, all the way from the beginning, all over again. And the reason I did that is because you'll notice that when we went back to Final Fantasy, and we talked those same games that we'd already talked over again, this time when we talked about them, they were a lot more positive. Because we weren't buzzed by the whole, it's like everything funny is because shit is bad. Like that was created by things like AVGN and Angry Gamer and shit like that. And it became a normal thing to just shit on stuff. That's true for a lot of things. Like if you go and you want to listen to something about, you know, movies, chances are you're going to find a media zealot or some shit like that, or you're gonna find Doug Walker, or you're gonna find some sort of you get the idea. It's very normal that's the concept that is taken, is to shit on things, because shitting on things for one reason or another gets people's attention, it's funny, and it gets ratings, and it gets clicks. And being positive and talking about why you love something, like what I do on this channel, and I shit on things, I do, but there's always an understanding when I come down on something that there's a reason I do it. I like all the things that I talk about. If I didn't like X-Men, I wouldn't talk about them. If I didn't like Power Rangers and Fandom and things of that nature and Gundam and stuff, I wouldn't talk about them in the way that I do. And I don't remain 100% positive because I react to things. But at the same time, every time that I react to something, it's not out of clicks, and it's not out of this will be funny if I tear this up, even though it's a movie I very blatantly like. If I like a movie, I'm going to tell you straight the fuck out that it's a movie that I like. I might have problems with it sometimes, but I have defended things on the show that other people will immediately shit on because shitting on it is funny. But I don't believe in terms of when celebrating fandom, and that's what my channel is. If I'm going to celebrate fandom, sometimes I'm going to be pissed off because they're going to fuck something up that I feel they fucked up. And then other times, I'm going to have genuine opportunity to defend movies that I think are not nearly what people create them.
Right in front of me.
Stay inside. Stick together. We'll take care of this.
I mean, you could tear anything you want apart. And negativity, like I said, became just such a common fucking thing that was sought after. And a lot of us fell into that trope, and we can't get out of it. And if you're on YouTube, you're stuck in it. Because the Star Wars channels, what do? They fucking cry about Star Wars, and they bitch about how it's the end, and how everything's been fucked up, and there's no going back now. And if you go to the comic book channels, what do? They talk about how the comic book industry's going under, and everything's fucked up, and blah, 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 and no story is good, and all the writers are bad. And the popular game channels, the things people are waiting for, things like AVGN to come in and make fun of video games, well, that's good and fine. But, like, I have to give it up to some of the people that have managed to maintain a level of positivity in what they do at the same time, like Happy Console Gamer. He's one that intrigues me because he may come on his channel and bitch from time to time, but 80% of the time what he's doing is he has a love for a fandom and he expresses that love. And I think that's something that YouTube desperately needs now, because there's a lot of negativity, and that's unavoidable. See if this is my truck. Nope. That is my wife being forced into overtime. Now, there's a lot of negativity on YouTube, and it's because negativity gets clicks. And I'm not saying not to view the negativity, because sometimes the negativity is something that's good. Because sometimes we do have to call out a company's bullshit, and we do have to state that some characters are certain ways and things like that, but, like, I think we can drown in it very fucking fast.
Let's hurry. Every second we waste could be the difference between life or death.
Okay, well, you are going to run alongside my horse. Have fun with that. What the fuck?
The barrow? No matter. This time we'll harvest all of the grey reliquaries.
That Coven Witch. Is she the one that escaped from the barrow?
I'll chop her fucking head off soon enough. Let's go. Bara doesn't like magic, and she doesn't like to be toyed with.
Too bad you arrived so late. Your life energy would fit perfectly in my reliquaries. They come. Protect the grey reliquary with your lives.
Fuck your thing.
I need a moment. Let's talk over there.
Not exactly a warrior, are you?
Gods, did all this death serve some dark purpose?
I would imagine so, yes.
Guess I'm not completely used to the fighting and all. That urn, though. The Grey Reliquary. The witch was adamant about protecting it, gathering it up. She said something about our life energy. Oh, gods, I think I know what they're doing.
People talking about my Facebook post. Laughing at me for posting that 10 years ago picture.
Remember what the witch said as we approached the town. This time we'll harvest all the Grey Reliquaries, she said. But our life energy would have fit perfectly in the urns. I think the Hero Storm steals life energy and puts it in the reliquaries.
Yes, as screwed up as that is, yes, that is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm working on mastering the two-handed weapon, but primarily what I use if I get into trouble is I'm a stamina DPS Nightblade, two weapons.
If the Jarl is still alive, she can take care of herself for a while longer. The witch hasn't gathered all the reliquaries yet. I say we get to them first and destroy them. I won't let these bastards profit off the destruction of Karthwatch.
Okay, let's go do that. I'm gonna break your thing. Yes, that was very impressive. You teleported. Fuck your thing. I'm gonna go fuck your other things too. Holy shit, it's up here, isn't it?
You could not stop the Hero Storm, and you cannot stop me.
You, go away. Break out of it. You, miss throw giant circles of doom. Stuck on the fence. Be dead. Damn it.
Sisters will avenge me.
Fuck your thing.
Breaking these things won't bring my people back. But the same goes for the Grey Host.
It will at least stop what's going on in the present. What the fuck? Yes, your ice wall was very protective. It did all kinds of things for you. There it is. Oh, well, okay. Thanks, guy.
That's done. Now let's check on the Jarl.
That meant I had to do
Jarl is right up in
nothing.
him.
Is the Jarl alive with all these people fucking... I mean, he could be, I guess, but that's kind of shitty for him to just be in here.
Stay back. Don't make me. Oh, you're not one of the witches or their monsters.
That's right, I'm not.
I thought this was the end for me. I barely have the strength left to conjure a light breeze. Wait a moment. Is that Princess Svana?
Yes. Yes, it is, in fact.
I'm Magister Fidelia. I serve Jarl Ulfren as her court mage. I've been fending off witches, vampires, and these crazed villagers since the chaos started. There was a storm. Definitely magical in nature.
Yeah, that's been
Found
happening
out
lately.
People against us.
Your High King decided that it wasn't a fucking issue, so that you could thank him for all this.
I'm not sure. I sent the Jarl into the cellar when the storm began. When I still thought it was just a bad storm. Please, go downstairs. Make sure the Jarl is safe.
No.
Bartold would be lost without her.
No, I don't have a copy of the Conan Epic. Well, I don't know. Because I bought this crazy digital thing. Like, in terms of a physical copy, I know I don't have that. But I bought this compendium thing from a Humble Bundle a couple years ago, and I've just been reading randomly through it. I have hundreds of Conan and Red Sonja books that are all digital. And usually I'm not digital, but like when I seen it, it was like something like 190 comics for like $10. And then for $25, they threw the Red Sonja comics in with it, which put me up to some massive fucking number, like nearly 400 books. And I've just been kind of clicking through them whenever I have the free time. So I have a lot of books. So I'm not 100% sure, but I have a lot of shit. So I could have that without even realizing I have it right now. But I would have it digitally.
The cellar. Jarl Ulfren is in the cellar. Make sure that she's...
That dude is small. Of course, I am... now, I didn't max my size or nothing like that, but I'm a Nord, so I'm naturally one of the biggest races.
Jarl Ulfren! No!
Well, shit.
To get some air.
You're dead.
Please, recover the crown of Carthage. We can't Leave it down here.
I keep, like, jumping over him when I do that. There's something weird about his hitbox. Well. Who's the Jarl now?
I'm sorry, Fidelia.
Here's the thing. If I come across Conan books or Red Sonja books in, we'll call it the wild, I buy them. Like, hands down, that's what I said. I like that kind of barbarian. That's the reason. That's the real reason I'm playing this, is because I made a barbarian-esque character and I'm just kind of running it in that concept. I'm not worried about dungeons and post-game and shit like that. I'm specifically interested in doing this for what I'm doing. And that is just to play it as almost like an RPG, see the stories and handle it in a Conan the Barbarian fashion. A sellsword that, if you have the money, she has the skills.
Harrowstorm? Is that what you call what happened here? Why I didn't turn into a monster is a mystery. Wait. The Hold soldiers clashed with Reachman scouts a few days ago. They brought back these medallions the scouts were wearing.
That's how they're standing in the storms, creating the storms, and not becoming heroes themselves.
Yes. I was preparing to study the enchantments I detected upon it when the Harrowstorm struck. I guess I slipped it into my pocket without really thinking about it. Could this be some sort of protection against this?
Garthwatch is gone. No people, no Jarl. The seat of the entire hold. Wiped out. Just like that. I have to get my father to take action!
Yes, you do.
I need to get back to the Eversnow and gather the survivors. Take them to Solitude, where they'll be safe. At least as safe as we can make them. Then I have to have a serious talk with my father. I'll make him listen to me, damn it, no matter what. Return to Solitude. Find Lyris and meet me in the Blue Palace. I have a room upstairs that we can use.
Okay.
We need to come up with a plan. Something that will help me convince my father to act.
I'll go find Lyris.
Magister Fidelia, as the highest rank...
I like that you can still come.
You won't experience the glory of a Harrowstorm.
I'll help you convince the High King.
Oh yeah? Was that Harrowstorm glorious, was it? Is that glorious? Yeah? And look, I'm killing your friend. I will kill you in a second. Bitchy bitch. Okay. Horse! Back to Lyris. My horse is slow, 'cause it only has the lowest of riding speeds.
With every ritual, we grow nearer.
Yes, you are tiny ferrets. Excuse me that I don't jump off the horse and combat you. Yeah, but like I said, any Conan books or whatever that I find in the wild, I go out of my way, if I have the money, of course, that it always, such is the nature of things, and money is money. But yes, if I have the opportunity, I will always buy a Conan the Barbarian book. Now, horse. There's a delve over there. Oh shit, some bears. As the guy on BuzzFeed would often tell me, bears are the most dangerous animal on the planet. Thought somebody said something there for a second. I will say it's funny though when you read things like Conan and people don't really understand it, like why you like it or what it even is. And, like, I had one time, I was at work, and I was reading Red Sonja, and I came across this part, and this person walked up behind me, and they were like, oh. They're like, so you're just, like, reading fucking skank bikini girls? And I was like, that is not what this is. I was like, this is a barbarian story. And she says, so that means they all wear bikinis? And I was like, look, I get it. I know exactly what it looks like to somebody on the outside of this, but the whole fantasy aspect of it plays into why they dress the way they do, act the way they do, and fight the way they do. And there's nothing you could do to explain it in terms of people that really don't get it. It's like trying to explain D&D to a person that has zero concept whatsoever, like, oh, that's a wizard, and they're like, so, like, a hermit? And you're like, no, that's... damn it.
Keep it down. We'll wait the day. Pleased to see you in solitude, stranger.
Well, that's the thing with Conan stories and things like that is Conan and Red Sonja and things of that nature, they fall into this background of fandom.
They're worse than drunkards after the mead hall closes.
Shh! Don't mock the cursed. You'll call a hex down upon us.
This is interesting to say the least.
Glad to see you're alive and well. I was getting worried with all the Herod they've been bringing into the city.
Yeah, why are they just bringing a bunch of Herod to stand around here?
They've been taking them to the Temple of the Divines in Castle Dower. I suppose it's really the only place to care for them in their condition. Jarl Redharn gave him an earful the moment we entered the Blue Palace. Nord politics. It's a wonder to behold. One step removed from a barroom brawl. I'm disappointed they didn't start slugging each other, but it worked out in the end. Damn it. I was afraid of that. We're running out of time and we still don't fully understand what we're facing out there. Hey, where's the princess? Tell me you didn't lose Svanna in Carthwatch.
No, I did not. Let's go.
Assassins tried to kill the High King. They murdered Queen Gerhild.
Our poor king must be devastated. The princess, too. What a sad day.
I think this is that place I was thinking about. I thought I found one of these. But it didn't actually come up as a quest or anything like that. But I thought for sure I found one of these missing things. Maybe I'm imagining things. Maybe I should just check. Because I thought for sure that I had one. Oh. Maybe I did not find... I thought for sure I remembered picking something up. Oh. Yeah, the Bard's College. I did find something. I thought I found more than just this, too. This also goes in the Bard College. Okay, so I have 2 items here that do go here somewhere. There's one. I don't really care about your Nord music history, but I mean, if I find the stuff, I'll bring it here. I mean, shit. There's no reason not to. It's got to be worth doing, I guess. Do you have more spaces? I don't know where this one goes. No. There it is. Look at that fucking ugly thing. Okay, well, I did that. I don't know. I mean, I guess I got experience for doing it. Whatever. It's out of my inventory. We're fine now.
Assassins tried to kill the High King. They murdered Queen Gerhild.
Our poor king must be devastated.
What?
Don't what me? I'm walking here. Okay. Now, from what I was just told, we're making progress, so...
The Svanna I know would leave all this bother behind. Come back to the troll and let the royalty deal with this.
I am the royalty, Mog. It's time I started acting like it.
It's true. Your mom's dead.
Welcome to the princess's chamber, my friend. I don't remember the last time I spent more than a few moments in here. Anyway, Jarl Redharn and Magister Fidelia are here, giving my father an earful.
Good.
Thanks for helping me at the holds. No, but we saved Morthal, and stopped the Coven from getting the Grey Reliquaries at Carthwatch. And we brought the hold leaders here. All of that matters. Take this. My royal allowance. I was going to buy wine, but you can make better use of it.
Oh, it's heavy. Damn it. I saw those stats and my fucking eyes about shot out. But yeah, that's not for me.
To find my father is finally doing something about the Coven threat. But it's not enough. Extra patrols and rounding up the Herald is all well and good. But what we really need is a defense against the Herald storms. Unfortunately, we've only recovered a few of the medallions. And Magister Fidelia hasn't determined what enchantment the medallions use to provide their protection. We need another solution. Right. Lyris mentioned that. Coincidentally, a courier delivered a message for you from Dusktown. I never heard of the place, but she said it was sent by someone named Fenorian. Is that your scholar? Read the message and let's see if you'll help us. Take the message from the table, then see if you can convince Fenorian to join us. Maybe with his help we can devise a defense against the storms.
I'll stay here and continue to annoy my father until he gives this threat the attention it deserves. You forget that I have help now. My father might be able to ignore me, but he'll have a harder time dismissing a Jarl and the court mage. It's funny. I would have thought he'd be happy to see me finally take an interest in politics. I don't care about his approval, but I'd like to earn his respect. With Mother gone, we're both going to have to work harder to keep our kingdom running. It will be easier if we find a way to get along.
Okay. Oh. My hand was in the wrong spot.
I wonder what Fenn's found that led him back down there. Does his message give any indication of where we can find him? The settlement isn't big, but it's not exactly small either. Well, it's a start. You know, I never imagined I'd be working alongside a vampire, let alone one I respect. With all the leeches we've already had to kill, it's nice to see another side. Fenn's different. You go on ahead. I need to get my axe sharpened before I go back down into Blackreach. I'll catch up with you in Dusktown.
All right. Yeah, look, comics aren't going anywhere. WB would not close down comics. And if DC was going to legitimately close its doors and be done forever, then there would be an awful lot of characters that would be up for grabs, and who knows. And for if that news even came close to being true, somebody would just buy them.
Pleased to see you in solitude, stranger.
Really? Haunted room, like you walk into it and then something happens? Holy shit. Such is the nature of Harrowy games. We go right into that instead of staying away from it like we would. Holy shit. I wonder if I just made a mistake over here alone. Holy shit, I'm gonna die, aren't I?
The exchange is complete.
Yeah, I can't fight all that. Not that. Oh, fuck.
The reliquary is prepared.
Yeah, there's no way.
A bountiful harvest.
Yeah, holy shit. Nope, not gonna happen.
This reliquary is filled.
I don't know why I'm still over here.
Our harvest begins. This reliquary is
Holy
nearly
shit,
filled.
that hurt. This person. Live, person. Damn it, get him.
Enjoy your freedom. Initiate the exchange.
Man, I can barely touch this thing. Yeah, I'm gonna die. Holy shit. This is not for us. Holy shit.
Step forward and draw. It has begun.
Yeah, I don't see this happening. I would like it, but damn.
You can die knowing you will serve a greater purpose.
Yeah, I certainly would. I cannot fight whatever that is over there. And now my shit is broken, so I really can't fight that shit over there. Which I guess it has been a while since I went. Ooh. Yes. Yeah, there was no way I was gonna. If there would have been more people there, I would have gladly hung around and dealt with the fact that I was dying, but there was like me and like one guy. That situation was a little bit bigger than that. Because that's what I'm leveling up right now, and the more level skills of a certain type you have on your bar, the faster something levels up. That's the actual only reason. So I'm just doing the story right now, and I'm trying to max the two-handed. My normal fighting style is this. But right now I'm just trying to get this one maxed. So I'm just dealing with the fact that I've purposely kind of crippled myself a little bit while I work towards the two-handed mastery. Otherwise, no, I would normally not just use weapon skills, because they're not that great. There we go. Okay. Greymore Caverns. We're gonna go back here and finish off a couple things before we probably switch to a new game. Oh, shit! The stretch. Because, as far as I know, they're still not getting a hold of me for another 2 hours, so...
Said I could make a...
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go over here. Stand over at the stables so that when I get on tomorrow, I remember to actually do this fucking horse shit. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, as far as my understanding goes and everything I've been told, for everything you have on your bar, that is what you are currently leveling up. So if you have an assassin ability, even one, you're leveling up assassin. But if you want to level it up even faster, you put nothing but assassin skills on, and then that gives more experience into that pool. So when I heard that, in order to finish the sword as quick as I could to get an understanding of whether or not I even cared for it, I just put nothing but those on there, and then I'm gonna play with that for a little while and see what I like from it, what I feel works, what doesn't work. And then if I keep that as a fighting style, as my second fighting style, I will then incorporate the actual skill sets from the character class, because the class skills are far superior to these weapon skills. I'm noticing that now that I've spent some damn time with these weapons. But that's going to be that for this one. I'm probably going to switch to a different game, find something I can have a little fun with. So I'll be back